Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, whichever one you know him by, said in a recent interview that his neck is absolutely wrecked. His neck has been an issue for a long time, as we know, when he was in WWE, and then he came back, and then he made his return, and then he moved to AEW and has had some incredible matches at AEW. Specifically, I think All In 2024, I believe, is when he brought his family and kids out and he won that match in London when there was 80,000 people. He's had some absolutely historic moments. We know WrestleMania 30 was a historic moment, and the Yes Movement and everything that Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson has done, even before WWE, his time as the American Dragon and Ring of Honor, and just his whole body of work is absolutely incredible. One of the best performers of all time. And since he wrestled with so much intensity and heart and passion and never took a night off, his neck, we know, history tells us that his neck is absolutely wrecked. And he says that, there's not no chance that he could never wrestle again, but it's really about the sort of risk versus reward situation. He really wants to be able to move his body and be able to spend time with his wife and his kids. And so he says mostly at this point he's done. And, in our society, we don't really know when enough is enough. So he says that he's had a beautiful career. He's happy with the way he's gone out. Again, with that All In 24 in London, with WrestleMania 30, with some of these most historic moments he's produced in the history of professional wrestling. And for a lot of wrestlers that I know, being a former independent professional wrestler myself, there's a lot of guys who their absolute number one wrestler is Bryan Danielson or, Daniel Bryan, whichever one you know him by. And so I'm doing this now again to give him his flowers as one of the best in-ring performers, overall performers, superstars, wrestlers, whatever you want to call it, of all time. Cheers to him. Hopefully at some point he makes it into the WWE Hall of Fame. Maybe when AEW does a Hall of Fame, we'll get him into the AEW Hall of Fame. It's really cool that he's still healthy. I know his neck, he says, it's wrecked. And so I hope that he doesn't get back in the ring and nothing bad happens and he can be an amazing father to his kids and husband to his wife and have a beautiful life where, he's remembered and goes down in history as one of the greatest of all time. So thank you, American Dragon. Thank you, Bryan Danielson, for your work. We love you. We appreciate you. And I just wanted to start with that. Now let's move on to a little WWE Raw preview for the April 28th edition of Monday Night Raw live on Netflix. I think we're going to see Becky Lynch talk about her actions, why she did what she did. Let's see how that goes. We're going to hear from Logan Paul, maybe next steps. He did beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That is huge, huge, huge. So what are we going to see moving forward from Logan Paul? Is he going to jump into some sort of big feud, potentially? Because the one with AJ Styles was not long. It wasn't a long feud, just a couple weeks before WrestleMania that he wins at WrestleMania. Are we going to see something with AJ Styles still? Are we going to see something with Karrion Kross? What's going to happen with Logan Paul? Is he going to win a title? Is he going to be in the main event scene? Is he potentially going to join Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman? Most likely not. I don't think he needs that sort of heat. I don't think he's ready for that type of stuff that they're going to be able to do, especially, moving on the fly, improvising, things like that. Logan Paul is still learning that sort of structure of professional wrestling, but I think he's going to get some big stuff because he gets reactions. He has a large fan base and a large following, and he's getting quite good at the stuff in the ring. I mean, obviously, when you wrestle AJ Styles, it's really hard to have a bad match because, like the guy we just talked about, Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles is one of the best in-ring competitors we've ever seen. And so what's next for Logan Paul? He's going to address the WWE fans today, just like Becky Lynch is. Apparently on this Raw preview, we just have everyone addressing everything, so there's going to be a lot of talking. Another person who's going to address the audience is going to be Pat McAfee, who got his life choked out of him by Gunther last week. His boys came out to run to protect him, but security held him back. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know where this is going to. I don't know what Pat McAfee is going to say. I'm not really interested in a Pat McAfee versus Gunther match. I mean, yes, Pat McAfee has trained as a wrestler. He's had a couple matches. He's gotten stunned by Stone Cold Steve Austin. He had a match, I believe, with Adam Cole on NXT. But getting in the ring with Gunther is not the same as those two things. Yes, you might be able to have a match with an Adam Cole, but can you be in the ring for more than a couple minutes with an absolute destroyer, killer, ring general like Gunther? So I don't know where this is going to go. I'd love to see Gunther. He's suspended, so we might not see him tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, suspended. He may still break through the barricade, come through the outside. If Pat McAfee's boys are there again, which is potentially could happen. Gunther could come out through the crowd, beat the shit out of those guys in the crowd, and then leave maybe before anything happens, while Pat McAfee is addressing the fact that he got his absolute life choked out of him. Now, I love the fact that Pat McAfee stood up for Michael Cole. They have a great relationship. They're friends. They're boys. I love the fact that he did that. We know that McAfee is an athlete. He's an absolute stud athlete. He's a trained professional. He can wrestle. He can fight. But can he fight someone like Gunther? I don't think so. If they have a match, it should be less than a minute long where Gunther kicks him in the face, power bombs him, and puts him to bed. If they want to continue this crash out of Gunther, then maybe they have some sort of slip of the banana peel where Gunther doesn't do all that, and maybe McAfee gets a leg up on him, and so now sort of Gunther is in this crash out crazy phase where he's just got to go nuts and he just beats up everyone because he's unhinged, because he lost his title and he doesn't know what to do with himself. And so I'm interested in the Pat McAfee addressing Gunther and the audience, but I'm not convinced that McAfee stands a chance against Gunther at all, or should he even be given the chance to stand a chance against Gunther. But I'm really interested in where it's going to go and where it takes Gunther next, as he lost the title to Jey Uso at WrestleMania 41. And then we have more addressing of the audience from Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker. They're going to address the audience, or the WWE Universe, the WWE fans, about their actions. What's next? I still think we have some new members added. I would love to see a female member added. Naomi, Bianca, Becky Lynch, Jordan Grace. I think those are awesome options to think about for adding into the group. And for another male, I think like Ethan Page, Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes, those would also be unbelievable options to round out the group, because Seth Rollins now is getting the push. He's been pushed his whole career, but I think now he's getting the push, and you want to put other people in the group who are also going to get elevated from being around Rollins and Heyman, who are really made men. I think those people could do really well in that, with some speed, some power, some brains, some women power, all of these things mixed in to make this really dominant group moving forward against potentially the likes of CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and anyone else that happens to want to join that crusade, which potentially will lead to something in November at Survivor Series, because it doesn't look like they're doing a War Games this year. Maybe we'll go back to just having a traditional Survivor Series match, which would be awesome. That 5-on-5 style, elimination style, would be awesome, sort of where Randy Orton made a name for himself, and potentially some other young superstars could make a name for themselves as well. And I think the match that's going to steal the night on this edition of Monday Night Raw is going to be Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. That match is going to steal the night. Roxanne Perez continues to show why she is a main roster talent and should be there every single week, producing matches, great matches, and being put in storylines, especially hopefully Roxanne and Bayley. We get that storyline in that feud very soon. But that match, Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez, if it actually holds up and they get the time that they deserve, that match is going to steal the show, outside of everyone just addressing their actions and talking about what's next. I think it's going to be a really good episode of Monday Night Raw on April 28th. So stay tuned. Come back here the next day for my reactions to that show, and comment below what you think, what might happen, what you're looking forward to happening. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys very soon, and appreciate you building this community with me, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.